It was a late summer evening, the kind where the sky melts into shades of orange, pink, and gold. The house smelled faintly of jasmine from the garden outside, and the sound of running water filled the bathroom as I stepped into the shower. My thoughts were scattered, about work, about life, about how sometimes the smallest events have the power to change everything. I had no idea that today would become one of those turning points. The water cascaded down, rinsing away the exhaustion of the day. I was humming a half-forgotten tune when suddenly I heard the faint creak of the door. At first, I thought it was the wind. The old house had a way of making its own sounds. But then, footsteps echoed softly against the tiled floor. I froze. Before I could call out, the curtain shifted slightly, and there she was, standing in the doorway, wide-eyed, clearly startled to find me there. It was her, someone who had been part of my life for months, but never in such an unguarded, unexpected way. She quickly covered her face with her hands, apologizing in a rush. "I'm so sorry. I didn't know you were in here. I thought the bathroom was empty." Her voice trembled, half with embarrassment and half with nervous laughter. I chuckled softly, trying to ease the awkwardness. "It's okay. Don't worry about it. Honest mistake." She hesitated, standing there in the doorway, unsure whether to stay or leave. I could see the pink flush on her cheeks, the way her eyes flickered between the floor and me. There was nothing inappropriate in that moment, just two people caught unexpectedly in a situation neither had planned for. Finally, she stepped back, murmuring again, "Really, I'm sorry," before pulling the door closed. But something had shifted. That night at dinner, the air between us felt different. There was a new awareness, a gentleness in the way we looked at each other. She avoided my gaze at first, stirring her tea absent-mindedly, but I caught her stealing glances when she thought I wasn't watching. I decided to break the tension. "You know," I teased lightly, "you almost gave me a heart attack earlier." She laughed, a sound that melted the awkwardness instantly. "I didn't mean to. I just walked in without thinking." Her laughter lingered in the room, and I realized how much warmth it carried. The moment that could have been embarrassing had instead become a bridge, one that connected us more deeply than before. Days passed, but that memory remained between us like a secret only we shared. It wasn't about what had happened, but what it revealed, how much we cared about each other's presence. One afternoon, we decided to go for a walk near the lake. The air was crisp, the kind of weather that made you want to slow down and breathe deeply. As we walked, she brought it up again. "You must think I'm so clumsy," she said with a shy smile. "Not at all," I replied. "I think it just shows how unpredictable life can be." She looked at me, eyes reflecting the golden sunlight. And maybe that unpredictability isn't always a bad thing. For a long while we walked in silence, the sound of leaves crunching beneath our feet. Then, without realizing it, I reached for her hand. She didn't pull away. That was the first time we truly allowed the walls between us to fall. Weeks turned into months, and our bond grew stronger. We learned to share stories late into the night, sipping coffee under the stars. We discovered that we both loved the same old songs, the kind that made you nostalgic for times you hadn't even lived. And sometimes we would laugh about that first moment in the bathroom. "Who knew," she would joke, "that a wrong turn could lead to the right beginning?" Every time she said it, I realized how true it was. Because that day, the day she walked in while I was showering, wasn't about an accident or awkwardness. It was about life reminding us that love often arrives when you least expect it. Years later, when we looked back, it was that story we told friends when they asked how it all began. We would both laugh, filling in the details, always ending with the same line. Sometimes the smallest interruptions can change your life forever. And that's exactly what happened to us.